Assalamu alaikum, dear students. Hopefully, all of you will be in your best state of health and faith. And today we start our lecture number 16 of ring theory. In this lecture, we will study prime ideals and the comparison of prime ideals with the maximal ideals of rings. So we start our lecture. Here we have the definition of prime ideal. An ideal P of a ring R is said to be prime if and only if for any ideals A and B of R, if the product of A and B, that is A into B, is contained in P, then either A is contained in P or B is contained in P. So if this condition is satisfied for some ideal P of a ring R, then such an ideal P is called prime ideal. Next we have a definition of the prime ideal for the commutative rings with unity. It means the previous definition was for all rings, but this definition holds only for those rings which are commutative and have the multiplicative identity. Now, what is this definition? Let R be a commutative ring with unity, then an ideal P of the ring R is said to be prime if and only if for any AB belonging to R, if the product A into B belongs to B, then A belongs to P or B belongs to P. So this is an alternative definition of the prime ideal for a ring with commutativity and the multiplicative identity. Next we have some examples. For the ring Z of integers, the ideals 2Z, 3Z and 5Z are prime ideals, but its ideals 4Z and 6Z are not prime ideals. How? Let's see. For example, as we mentioned that 4Z is not prime. So we can see here that 12, which is equal to 2 into 6. 12 belongs to 4Z, but neither 2 belongs to 4Z nor 6 belongs to 4Z. But similarly, as I mentioned that 6Z is also not prime ideal. So it means there might be one element, two elements or some elements which will definitely violate the condition. So you can see that 2 into 3, which is equal to 6. This 6 belongs to 6Z, but 2 does not belong to 6Z and 3 does not belong to 6Z. But as I mentioned that 2Z, 3Z and 5Z are prime ideals. So if you write the elements of 2Z, 3Z, 5Z, whatever, for any elements, if the product belongs to 2Z, then one of the two elements will definitely belongs to 2Z. So these are the examples of some prime ideals. Next we have a theorem. Let R be a commutative ring with unity, then an ideal P of R is prime ideal if and only if R factor by P is an integral domain. Now look here. First we assume that P is prime ideal of R, then we have to prove R factor by P is an integral domain. Obviously, as we have proved earlier, that if P is ideal, then R factor by P is ring. Similarly, if R is commutative, then R factor by P is commutative, and if R contains the multiplicative identity, that is unity, then R factor by P will definitely contain multiplicative identity, that is unity. Now it means here as R is commutative ring with unity, so R factor by P is also a commutative ring with unity. Now what is integral domain? Integral domain is a ring commutative with multiplicative identity and having no zero divisor. So it means now to prove R factor by P is an integral domain, it remains only to prove that R factor by P has no zero divisors. Now how we can prove that R factor by P has no zero divisor? This can be proved as if for any two elements A plus P and this is B plus P, this is B plus P belongs to R factor by P, then if their product is equal to 0, then one of these two elements must be equal to 0. Now what does it mean? It means by 0? 0 means the additive identity of the ring R factor by P. Now what is the additive identity of the R factor by P, which is definitely equal to P? It means 0 plus P, that is P. So we multiply A plus P in B plus P and take it is equal to the 0, that is the additive identity of R factor by P, which is equal to P. Then we solve that A plus P into B plus P by the multiplication of the cosets. A into B plus P will be equal to P, then AB belongs to P. And since P is taken and assumed as a prime ideal, so it means either A belongs to P or B belongs to P. And if A belongs to P, then A plus P is equal to P. And if B belongs to P, then B plus P is equal to P. So it means we have taken A plus P into B plus P is equal to P, and we reached that A plus P is equal to P over R B plus P is equal to P. So it means R factor by P has no zero divisors. It means R factor by P is an integral domain. Now we try to prove the converse of the theorem. Conversely, assume that R factor by P is an integral domain. To prove P is prime. Now how we can prove that P is prime? Since R is commutative ring with unity, so we can use the second definition for an ideal P to be prime ideal. For this, we take two elements A and B of R and say that their product A into B belongs to P. Then we have to prove either A belongs to P or B belongs to P. So we try it. Now A into B belongs to P mean AB plus P is equal to P. Then A plus P into B plus P is equal to P. Since we have taken that R factor by P is an integral domain, so it means it contains, it has no zero divisor. Since it's a no zero divisor, so it means whenever its two elements, the product of its two elements is equal to P, that is the additive identity of R factor by P. So one of these two elements must be equal to P, that is 0. So A plus P is equal to P or RB plus P is equal to P. It means A belongs to P or B belongs to P. So P is a prime ideal of R. Next, we have another theorem. And now what it states, an ideal M of the ring Z of integers is maximal if and only if M is generated by P for some prime integer P. Okay, we try to prove it. Let us assume for some prime P, M is generated by P. Now we have to prove that M is maximal ideal. Now recall the definition of the maximal ideal. What it states, if for any ideal I of R, if M is subset of I and I is subset of Z, and if it concludes that either M is equal to I or I is equal to Z, then M will be a maximal ideal. Now we try to prove that it is maximal. For this we have to prove either M is equal to I or I is equal to Z. Okay, as Z is PID, PID means principal ideal domain. Principal ideal domain means an integral domain such that its every ideal is principal. Principal ideal means its every ideal is generated by a single element of the ring, which is here Z. So I is principal ideal of Z, then I is generated by some integer n. Next, then P belongs to M as M is generated by P. So definitely P belongs to M as M is subset of I and I is generated by N. So P belongs to M, M is subset of I is generated by N. It means P will be some integral multiple of N. So it means P will be equal to some M into N, where M is some integer. As P is prime, so either N is equal to P or N is equal to 1, because a prime number can be written as only, for example, 7 is equal to prime, and 7 is then only can be written as 7 is equal to 1 into 7 or 7 into 1. So as P is prime and P is written as M into N, so this N either will be equal to P or will be equal to 1. Now if N is equal to P, then M is equal to I, because I is generated by N, M is generated by P, and N is equal to P, then it means M is equal to I. And if N is equal to 1, then I is equal to Z, because I is generated by N and Z is generated by 1. So it means N is equal to 1 means I is equal to Z. So we have taken that P is subset of I and I is subset of Z, and we come to the conclusion that either M is equal to I or I is equal to Z. It means M is maximal ideal of Z. Now we prove the converse of the theorem. Conversely, assume M is maximal ideal of Z. To prove M is generated by some prime integer P. Suppose on the contrary that P is not prime. Definitely then P will be equal to A into B, where A will be between 1 and P and B will also be between 1 and P, and A and B are the integers. Now if A is an ideal of Z generated by small a, then M is subset of A and A is subset of Z. And then M is not equal to A and A is not equal to Z. Why? As A is neither equal to 1 and A is neither equal to P. So it means A will neither be equal to M and capital A will be neither equal to Z. This implies M is not maximal, which is a contradiction. So our supposition is wrong and hence P is a prime ideal. Next we have an exercise for this lecture. It contains 3 questions. You can easily solve these by taking all the instructions and the discussion of this lecture. Best of luck. Allah Hafiz.